Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I am Crystal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are so excited to have you all with us for another episode of this here podcast. Now, before we get into everything we got for y'all today, y'all know how I got to start the show. Crystal, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. It's been a good week, actually. I have an interview on Monday.
That's what the hell I'm talking about.
Yep, it's for a film that's going to be in the area for about a month and a half or so. So I'm excited.
Shut up, boy.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So I got that. One of my nephews came and stayed over last night. We implemented a new type of thing, a new family thing. I called it family reading time because he's been on electronics a lot, and he's really into, he claims, I don't know, he could be, but he says he's really into graphic novels or like comic books type things.
Yeah. Oh, I love a graphic novel.
Anytime I call it a comic book, it's a graphic novel, auntie.
Oh yeah, they get real up in arms.
He does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. So, but I think his teacher has been, from what I understand, he's been needing a little help in some of the reading areas, just because it's things like theme and stuff like that, which if you're not an avid reader can be difficult when you're first trying to learn how to identify those stuff. So I was like, we need to get you a chapter book so you actually can start reading some of this stuff. And I had gotten him one a while ago. He picked it out, he read the back cover, he thought it sounded interesting, and I bought it for him, although I don't know if he was interested in it because I was buying it for him or if he was actually interested in it. But he's never, I got it with the intention for me and him to read it together. But then like literally 2 weeks later, my brother had found his house that he wanted to buy, and they moved out. So, he took the book with him, and now he couldn't find it. So I was like, all right, well, you need help. We need to do more reading and stuff like that. We need to get our electronics out. So I'll just pick one of my books. So I chose Harry Potter.
I knew it was going to end up somewhere Harry Potter.
If he had found his book. It's a
good place to start.
If he had found his book, we would have found something else. He likes to pretend he doesn't like Harry Potter, but I know he enjoys at least some of it. So I got the first book, and we shut off all electronics. We put our phones on silent, and we just read the first chapter. We each took turns reading a page. So it went pretty well. He seemed to enjoy it. He seemed to like it. He was good for about 3/4 of the way. And then he started to get a little restless. Nowadays, it's not just kids. The
attention span.
Yes, I'm guilty of it too. I get it, but the attention spans is just not there. So, we're gonna work on building that up a little bit more. It's not gonna be often because we only get them so often by ourselves, especially. But I told my brother about it. I hope he keeps it up. I think it was a really good thing. After a couple of pages, we discussed it, we talked about it a little bit, and it was nice to do something like that, without the distractions of everything else. So it was pretty good.
That's really, really nice. I'm glad. It seems to be a theme that I'm noticing with a lot of people, that a lot of people are getting back into physical books and reading multiple books a month and different stuff like that. I started I don't know if I just inadvertently hit the wave of when it was happening, but I started last year, or a year before last, actually, really getting back into reading.
Yeah.
Because, it's easy to, after you get done with work or after you get done with school or, whatever you're doing, to just get on the couch in the evening, watch something on the TV, or sit and scroll for an hour or play a little game on your tablet and stuff. And I had noticed, I was like, why am I sitting in front of the TV in the evenings? Like I don't need to look at not named other screen during the day. I need to cut some time out.
Yeah.
So then I started reading on the tablet. But then I was like, my attention span is really bad if I read on a tablet,
Mm-hmm.
actually. It's so much better, and I engage much more if I'm reading a physical book.
Yeah.
So the past couple of years, that's all I get for Christmas and my birthday is books, and that's all I want.
Yeah.
If you get me a Hot Wheel and a book for my birthday and or Christmas, baby, I am over the moon. Like, I am so happy. So I'm glad to hear that y'all are taking
Yes.
the time to do that, because I think that'll be really, really beneficial for him.
Mm-hmm.
Foundational
Yeah.
reading is fundamental, children.
It is. And
Remember that.
I hope, the first chapter on any book is almost always boring. The first couple of chapters, actually, it's usually around 4 or 5 that you start to kind of get into it and you start to see it more. So I'm hoping once we start to get into the book, he'll start to engage more with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll
Has
see.
he seen the movies?
He saw the first one. Again, it's the attention span, because he likes to pretend like he doesn't like it. If he genuinely did not like it, I would not force it upon him. I would not. But I see that he is. It's almost like, I don't know if, kids nowadays, if they make fun of it or something like that, like it's not cool right now at their age. But
To
it's
read?
like to the Harry Potter.
Oh,
Right.
Girl, I was about to say, oh, we are lost. We are lost. Like this.
I mean,
this planet is going to hell fast.
reading
Could you
could be
teasing
it.
me for reading?
Reading could be it too. I don't know. Maybe graphic novel is the only thing that's cool because it's short and it's got pictures and everything like that. But it's like we started watching it, and during like the filler moments, he was not really paying. He was just like kind of rolling his eyes, like whatever. But then when things were happening, he was like, well, why is he doing that? Well, where did he come from? Well, what's and I'm like, well, watch the movie, kid, and then you'll see. It'll answer all your questions. Yeah. And then he'll be into it, and then it's almost like a part of him's like, oh, I'm showing that I'm liking this, and it's not cool. Like, so then he'll go back to being like, oh, are we done yet? Or is this almost over? And then something would happen. He'd be like, his attention is like, oh, that's what's going on. Well, why are they doing this? And I'm just like,
you gotta teach these kids, y'all. They can be multifaceted. They can like to go out and play football, but also be really into symphony orchestra. These things are possible.
Yeah.
Don't let people really like to pigeonhole each other and themselves, and I don't understand it. I feel like that was when I was younger, that was a critique that I got, that I was in too many things. Like, I liked too much different stuff, and I actually wanted to do the different things. And it was like, kind of that pick something, attitude. And I was always like, no.
Yeah.
why would I put all my energy here when I can spread my energy among things that all of these things I like? So why would I just stick to this? Because then I'm gonna get bored of this shit and I'm not gonna want to do it no more.
Right.
But yeah, please continue this reading. What you call it? Reading what? Reading?
Family reading time.
Evenings? Oh, okay. Family reading time. Sorry, I couldn't remember. Family reading time. Listeners, implement this with y'all children. Okay? There are too many TikTok videos, Instagram videos with these teachers talking about y'all kids are in the 5th grade reading on the 2nd grade level. I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. Hook them kids on phonics. Okay. I was on Hooked on Phonics every summer in elementary school. My aunt did not play. Okay. Now, the way that some of these stories that I be reading on this show may make it look different. Y'all might question, can he read? Yes, I can. However, these letters are an indication that some children were in fact left behind. Okay, they were dragged through the system. So let's get back to reading. Okay.
Yes, it doesn't even have to be like a fantasy thing type, like a Harry Potter type book. If you're into like true crime, it doesn't even have to be something that's not real. Like real true crime books are out there. Those are cool. Factual type things. If you really like, you want to learn some really cool facts about the world. Those are the same type of things that you can find enjoyment out of. Those types of books. So it doesn't have to be one thing or the other.
I really enjoy historical fiction. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know why, but them historical fiction books, like, because you actually learn about what it was back,
Mm-hmm.
whether it was the 1700s, 1800s, but then, the story itself is engaging because it's not real. It's
Right.
not really based in fact. So different shit can happen to make the
Mm-hmm.
story juicy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still like the base of it is rooted in fact of what it was like during that time. So,
Yeah, I remember there was one teacher in my high school. She loved the Tudor era, loved that time period, and was so excited to teach us about it because of the Tudor scandal with Henry
Mhm.
VIII and his wives. I had never
Mhm.
heard of Henry VIII and his wives at this point, like what the
Mhm.
scandal was. It was the first time I realized how scandalous history could be.
Child.
And I got
Mhm.
really into it, learning about him, his wives, what they
Mhm.
went through, the
Yep.
accusations they had to go through, the beheadings that the two wives went.
'Cause he
It
was
was so interesting to me. And so
mm,
it's stuff like that. You can find really juicy, scandalous things in history that you learn about.
exactly.
You just gotta.
Greek mythology. There
Oh
was a book
yes.
in elementary school. It was this thick ass, big ass book that was like, the story from the beginning up
Mm-hmm.
until, whatever, explaining all the Greek gods and how they came to be and the family trees and stuff. The librarians literally had to tell me, Timmy, you can't check this book out every time you come to the library. Like, you can't keep renewing this book and reading it again. Like, you have to pick something else. And my teacher too, she was like, you can't, because in elementary school, you have to
Mm-hmm.
go to the library,
Yep.
get you a book, read the book, write your little, I think it was like on the little index card or whatever,
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
had to write out what the story was about and all that bullshit. And mine was every time it was the same book because I loved that book. I can
Mm-hmm.
remember what it looked like. It was like a goldish orange with black text, and the pages were kind of thick. Oh, it was so nice. Anyway,
Mm.
not me proving your nephew right. I'm a fucking nerd. Shut up. Excuse me, y'all. I did not mean to come off like I do not identify with the nerd community. No, I'm playing.
I did. I did. My
Child.
even now, my brother's best friend, he likes to do that. Every once in a while when I get off on a rant about something, he'll just look at me and be like, "Nerd." Now I'm like, "Yes, yes I am."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Okay.
let me tell you about something I saw on Facebook.
Tell me about it.
Let me pull it up. It was a nice little question.
Uh,
I see them every once in a while, and I've never thought to like save them and bring them here. But I think
mhm.
this is a good little area to bring this type of topic.
Now, am I supposed to answer this question?
I don't know if you can.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you could answer this question
I don't
because
know why I'm offended by that, but
let me read you the question.
okay.
And
Okay.
you can tell me if you haven't answered this, but I just don't think you can
Mm.
because you'll your wife and you'll know why. The
Oh.
question
Mm.
is, what's the pettiest thing you've done after a breakup?
This is not something I can answer.
I'm like, as far as I
This
know,
is
you guys
not
have been with each other since high school. So was there someone
since I was born.
else?
Since I was
Exactly.
born, there has never been another.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's it. So yeah.
Well,
So
can I?
that's what I thought. Okay. So what's
Mhm.
the pettiest thing you've ever done after a breakup? Moved on.
But why was that also my first thought? I was like, keep it pushing. Like that would
Right.
be the pettiest thing to me. Like,
I'm enjoying some of these answers because I'm taking notes.
not you.
You know I love a good
Crystal is
pettiness.
so Crystal is so petty that she's planning for a future breakup so she can be petty. Girl,
Exactly.
like she's about to get into
Exactly.
a relationship just so
Just
she
to
can break up with them and be petty. Y'all,
I'm gonna
look
start
at
a
who.
fight just for you to think I'm crazy. It's gonna be like how to lose a guy in 10 days.
Look
I'm
at.
gonna be that.
I just want y'all to know whose podcast y'all are listening to. Okay, this is who Crystal of the Tea and Crystals podcast is, ladies and gentlemen, okay? She
This
finna,
person-
y'all better stay on her DMs. Because you finna get broke up pettily, okay?
It's like they're gonna say they're gonna show me the first red flag, and I'm like, oh, I know I could use this for.
Chris is gonna have in her notes in her phone. She's gonna have red flags to keep track of. And once you hit that threshold, baby, 3 strikes and you're out.
3 strikes. Someone said took all her socks and drawers and left the keys on the table.
Ooh. Because I was like, wait, why would you leave? But he he was at her house.
Yep.
And left his spare on the table. Can you imagine? You come home, you don't have no socks,
Nothing.
no drawers. Oh my God. And what if you got you got your favorite pair of drawers or your favorite pair of socks? My socks is
gone.
Okay, that would piss me off. I ain't gonna lie.
That's the point.
Because I got broken up. Oh, I was about to tell my business. I got too comfortable for a second.
We don't know y'all like that yet.
Girl. I don't know y'all like that. I am so sorry.
This one said, smash the chick she wrongfully accused me of smashing, and I regret absolutely nothing.
Now, absolutely not. That's something. I do not believe, the saying when they be like, the way to get over one is to get under another. Y'all stop that bullshit. Why would you go ahead? Anyway, that's a whole nother. You know what we should have an episode on one day? We should have an episode on. We should have a sex and relationships episode.
I'm for it.
Because I don't like sex and relationship podcasts because it gets stale after a while because y'all talking about the same shit over and over again. But if we had somebody to come in here who is, I actually have somebody in mind. Actually, I want kind of an expert and then somebody who's out here in them streets. And I
got the who's out there in these streets person.
This might be okay.
And y'all let us. You already know who you are. We already know who he is.
If you're listening to the podcast and you are this person, I don't know why I said that. But if that's an episode that y'all want to see, let us know in the comment section. Because we will get to not to interrupt the flow of things, but I actually meant to mention this at the top of the podcast. If y'all have stories or things that y'all see on social media that you would like for us to share that you find amusing on the podcast, teaandcrystal@gmail.com. I almost forgot our
I know, I saw that.
teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Or you can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok in our DMs. TikTok has DMs, right?
It does, yes.
Okay, in our DMs, and just send us a link to it and explain, because we not just going to click on random links. So please explain to us what it is that you liked about it, why you think we should share it, and we'll go from there. Very much obliged. Please continue, Crystal.
Put Miralax in his protein powder.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
This person,
bubble guts. Mid squat. Squirt mid squat.
Stop it. Sorry. Because those Miralax don't hit immediately, so you drink the protein shake. You go to work
you get that first rep in, and you because you be pushing on your abdomen and stuff. Next thing you know, the girl on the bench across from you is talking about being full of shit. Woo.
Got bored and called him repeatedly. I didn't say anything when he answered, just hung up and called right back to get on his nerves.
Absolutely not. Call the cops. I would call the cops on her because this is harassment. That's not petty. That's stalkerish.
It is a little bit. Still use their perks with their telephone number. I could see this. If I'd memorize someone's phone number. Hey, I need a number for. Yeah, I got you.
Shit.
Every time.
About to say.
Email address, same thing. I'll use your email address for everything. Anything spam related.
If y'all want to hack out there, because a lot of these stores be harassing you for your phone number and stuff these days because they want to send you all type of advertisements and all that stuff. Y'all get a Google Voice number. They are free, and you can get everything sent to that number. You can use that number for verification of different things. If you don't want to give out your actual number, use a Google Voice number and give them to all the businesses.
Wow, we're gonna have to go over that more. Okay.
Yeah.
Called another state and gave the sheriff his new address on his active warrant. He never knew it was me.
Send that nigga to jail. Okay, I'm getting too comfortable tonight. Let me shut my ass up. Send that man to jail. Period.
This one, she broke up with me, so I then got back together with her so I could be the one to break up with her. Then I got back with her again to break up with her again. 2 for 1.
Now she's the dummy. Because fooled me
she
once,
is.
shame on me.
She is.
Fooled me twice, shame on me.
Because it was probably something really, really small and insignificant. And he was just like, oh, we're done. We're over. We're done.
But I'll tell you what won't small. That's the reason she got back with him. Okay.
This one said, not what I did, but what happened to me. My ex moved out and had to come back to get a handful of more things. So while I was at work, he took all the light bulbs out of every single thing. And I couldn't even be mad.
All the inconvenience. Because, different different lamps need different sizes. And, some are fluorescent. Oh, my God.
I'm just going to speed through these next ones just to get them out. This one said, I super glued my ex's drawers and cabinets closed. Another one said, took the forks and spoons, only leaving the knives for him to eat with. Another one said, broke the microwave plate. This one said, cover his patio from door to door, mat, and walkway in glitter. And then the last one said, changed all my streaming passwords right before the show aired, watched the series finals of all his favorite shows, and then texted him every single spoiler. That's my kind of petty.
Now you are evil son of a bitch. Let me tell you something. There's a special place down there with the devil. You have a seat on the throne for that.
I wouldn't even be mad.
Oh,
wouldn't even be mad. I like the super glued one. The super glued one.
The one that got me was the broken microwave plate. Who thinks of that? I broke her microwave plate.
And the spoon and forks and just left the knives. I told you I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to use all of these. I'm going to take the forks and spoons. I'm going to take all the light bulbs. I'm going to take all the batteries out of everything.
Yeah.
I'm going to break the microwave plate.
Oh, can you imagine taking the
be a really
batteries
bad
out of
day
everything?
Maybe I'll just do it to someone who pisses me off. Like maybe the next time my brother makes me mad, I'll just go to his place because I have access to it and just take all the batteries, all the light bulbs, take all of his spoons. And
don't do that. You know what would be really, really evil? I think this is next level though, because the things that they did are like, okay, I can replace those things.
Right.
But if you cut the ends of all the power cords,
let's see. No, I couldn't do that. That's too evil.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
That would be too evil. That's too much.
It depends on what they did to you.
You're right.
Because now everything is ruined in the most annoying way. Because what am I? I can't.
I wouldn't. That's That's no one I know right now that I would do that to.
Yeah, right now.
Right. So,
right now. But there is room.
The other stuff I could definitely do. Next thing you know, my brother's going to see this and he's going to text me. He was like, "Yeah, so you've lost access to the house." So sorry.
Because I was like, why did you just snitch on yourself? Because he's probably gonna see this. So that means that you need to get it done between now and when this episode airs. So he don't know.
No, see, I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the next time he makes me mad. It'll be, hopefully it'll be a while.
Well,
and he won't remember until it's happening. It's already happened. And then he'll be like,
she got me. Okay. Well, I heard through the grapevine that you have a little story for us.
I do.
This week. Yeah,
I do. I have a nice Am I the asshole story? So this
Oh,
one
nice.
is, am I the asshole for losing my passport to avoid babysitting on my vacation?
Okay. Okay.
I, female 17, still live at home. My sister, 28, is married and has 2 kids, 5 and 3. Whenever
Mhm.
she comes over to visit my parents and her, I'm sorry, let me reread this. Yeah, she said this wrong. Okay. Whenever she comes over to visit my parents, she sticks her kids with me. This wouldn't be a problem,
Mhm.
except she doesn't visit for an evening. She will come for a week, and for that week, I am an unpaid nanny. It will,
Oh,
if we go out to a restaurant, I have to entertain them because my mom needs to talk to my sister and brother in law. You get the picture. My parents decided that since this was my last summer before I became an adult, we would be going to Disneyland to celebrate my graduation. I asked
ooh.
who was going, and they said it was just the 3 of us. But when we got to the airport, my sister and her family were there. Strangely enough, they were also going to Disneyland. I went into my backpack, grabbed my passport, and I put it in my sock. When we got to the international security, I couldn't find it. We looked everywhere. I had to Uber home and I missed my flight. Oh well. I get to stay home by myself for a week of peace and quiet. My parents were very mad at me for losing my passport. The money they spent on my flight and an entrance was wasted. Darn. My mom and sister were both posting about how it is hard to be at Disneyland with 2 little ones. They both posted that I ruined the vacation by being so thoughtless. My dad says he knows why I did he knows what I did and he understands, but he says I should have let him know so he didn't waste money. He said he would have gone along with my ruse. I feel bad about wasting money, but I have been to Disneyland before and I will go again later by myself or with my friends.
Let me tell you something. Because she done made me mad. She done made me mad. Because that was the dumbest thing you could have done.
Mhm.
I hate a passive aggressive person. And this was extremely passive aggressive to moi. Why would you give up your trip for your graduation instead of vocalizing, I'm not watching them goddamn kids. I'm finna go to Disney. I'm finna have a good time. Okay? Lil Jacoby and Lil Grant, fuck them kids. Okay? Do you understand me? For the next however many days that we are here on this vacation, it's about me. Okay? My inner child, even though I am still technically a child, but my inner child is finna have the time of their life in this amusement park. Okay? And if Lil Jacoby and Lil whatever I call that other little baby get in my way, I'm knocking them little bastards over. Okay? If we in line and they're like, oh, it's only one spot left on this roller coaster before we shut it down, guess what, Jacoby? Back of the line. Okay?
Mhm.
Because it's my turn. Do you understand me? You and your mama and your daddy and your brother too can beat feet as far as I'm concerned. I'm not watching y'all. Oh, we just wanted to go out tonight to have a little, drink at the bar before, we go to the park tomorrow. Do you mind watching the kids? Fuck them kids. Okay? If they decide to walk out this door and walk down the street, guess who ain't going after them? Me, because it's
Mhm.
my trip. Do
Mhm.
you understand me? To me, dummy. Dummy. Yes, you are the asshole. Not to them, but to yourself. You played
Right.
yourself.
Yeah.
You played yourself. And I'm on the parent side. I
Mhm.
do you know how high Disney is? And you had to fly there? Oh my god. Your parents still got a second mortgage on their own. You are insane.
Well, she did leave she had left a response to a comment. She said that apparently the mom had promised the dad she wasn't going to invite her sister because this was supposed to be for OP, but the mom went behind his back. So the whole trip has turned into a crap show because the mom and the sister, had plans to go shopping and stuff while the dad, brother-in-law, and her OP took the kids to Disneyland. So her dad noped out of that. And the brother-in-law and sister have had to take care of the kids with no help.
Listen here. Communication is key.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Your mama sounds trifling. At least you have an ally in your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Tell your dad to pull them britches up and get his wife in line. Okay, because he can see that what they're doing is wrong. The fact that your mama and my question is, why aren't you going with your mama and your sister to go shopping? Number one, why would they just leave you? Let the men watch the kids. Why I got to be
Right.
you all the time watching the
Yeah.
kids? These are questions, right? You see how I'm asking these questions? These are questions that you should be asking to your family, because I understand that you are in a, I won't say vulnerable position, but in a position where you don't have a lot of power. The power dynamic is obviously on the adult side. I don't know why your sister wants to tag along for all of this stuff. I don't know why she's using you like this. Is she paying you for watching these children? I bet not. She's think you are a free babysitter because you're her little sister and you under 18, whatever. But you have agency, okay? And you need to use your words to explain to them in this instance, if you at home, you ain't doing shit, okay, maybe it's a little harder to argue with them. But this was specifically for you, a trip planned for you, for an accomplishment that you are going to make. You could have communicated that to them and went and had your trip. You are too young to be talking about, I get to stay at home in peace. Girl, when you pay a bill, then you can enjoy staying at home in peace. Okay? Go. You should have went on that trip.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. I'm not saying you're the asshole for not wanting to, have to do unpaid work on your trip. I get that. Totally get that. But it definitely could have been communicated way better, especially since it seems like your dad is on your side. And obviously this wasn't supposed to be planned. Like he was, the wife promised him that, so he was probably just as surprised as you. So, I don't know. I think this was a year ago or a couple years ago. So I don't know if this happens again in the future. Just remember that, because you missed out on a trip to Disneyland, which I know you're like, whatever, I've been there, I can go again. But it's like, girl, do you know, I'm assuming anytime you've went in the past, someone's paid for you. So the next time you go, you're probably gonna have to pay for yourself. And it is not cheap. So enjoy the time you have, the very, very little time you have where your parents are going to pay for you for everything, because it's coming real soon where you're going to have to start doing it yourself.
In the grand scheme of your life, baby, it is a very short period. Take advantage of the stuff. And I hate that for you. I hate that for you that you missed out on this.
Yeah.
The flights alone to get there and back. Baby.
Especially since I've never been to Disneyland or Disney World or any Disney thing.
You ain't never been to Disney?
No, I haven't.
Dang.
I know. We always said we were going to go when I was little. We had like a little jug of vacation money and it just never happened. And then a couple years ago, we were supposed to go for one of my nephew's birthday. It was a year in advance planned. I had money set aside. I was just waiting for the final, like, yep, we're ready. Let's book the rooms, book the flights, all that stuff. And then suddenly everyone started dropping out. And so his mother was just like, yeah, she was like, I'm not going to do all this if nobody else is going or anything like that. So it got canceled. And I was just like, I was finally going. I was so excited. So I'll get there one day. One day.
I was about to say, because that, we'll talk offline.
Well.
We'll talk offline because
So ultimately,
that
you're
could be a
not the
thing.
asshole for not wanting to babysit your sister's kids, but you were the asshole for going about it the way you did.
Yes,
So,
yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
Timmy, you have got a story for me.
I sure do. I sure do. And I too, surprise, surprise, have a story from r/am I the asshole from good old Reddit. And this one is entitled, Am I the asshole for taking my grandchildren to Disney for the first time without their mother and refusing to apologize when confronted?
Excuse
Girl,
me. Are we on a
the
theme here that
synergy,
I didn't
the
know?
the synergy.
I love
Okay.
it.
Speaking of which, Disney, y'all got the coin. If y'all want to advertise here on the Tea Christmas podcast, we have all of our slots open. Okay. You can have every single one of them. Okay. I will
Let's
get
see if
on
that
here.
works. Let's see if that
Child,
works.
you can ship me a Mickey Mouse outfit. I'll get on here and shuck and jive if you want. Okay. I ain't too proud. I'm not too proud. Oh,
We'll make it
our
a sneak peek or whatever. This
I
whole
said
little
shuck and
segment.
jive, and every black listener said, "Oh." Yeah. I'm sorry, I ain't mean to trigger nobody. Sorry, y'all. Excuse me.
Okay, so
All right, here we
read that
go.
to me again.
Okay. Am I the asshole for taking my grandchildren to Disney for the first time without their mother and refusing to apologize when confronted? Here we go.
I'm
Oh,
gonna give my pre-verdict because I
go
love doing
ahead.
these things,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say yes.
Y'all remember she said that? Here we
Look, I
go.
hate it when you do that. I hate it when you do that. Okay.
You the one who be like, I want to say before you tell the story. Y'all remember she said that? Here we go. My my son made this account and asked me to post this story because he claims my normal meter is skewed and the internet is going to tell me that I am the asshole. I recently babysat my grandchildren, 5 and 4, for a period of 4 nights and 5 days so my son and his wife could attend a wedding in Mexico. Fancy. And spend a few days on vacation. Tried it. They approached me since her mother would not be available. I initially said that I wasn't comfortable with that. It seemed like a long time to watch the kids, and she point blank told me that the woman's family is more important than the man's. So I was irritated. I was being asked. Oh, so I was irritated. I was being asked, and not her mother. I will admit that I did give in when my son became very emotional, but I feel like they were being very manipulative. Number one, your son getting emotional makes me chuckle. Okay, because
I have a question real quick though. Something to clear up. So they originally asked her mother, the wife's family, and they couldn't do it.
exactly,
And she's
exactly.
upset. Is she upset that they originally were trying to go with her mother instead of her?
Yes, because well, not initially that she asked her mother, but because they never asked her in the first place.
Okay, that's what
Because
she's
she
upset about.
said that her the wife said that her family is more important than her, essentially, because she don't say
Yeah,
anything about a grandfather in this letter, so I'm assuming it's
okay.
just her.
Right.
So I almost said something that was about to get I can't even say that.
I'm gonna mute my mic before I say something.
um oh child. While I had the kids, I was invited to a birthday at Epcot and I wanted to go. It didn't even occur to me to run it by my son or daughter-in-law as I had the kids for an extended period of time. And obviously, they knew they would be going everywhere that I went. My daughter-in-law had previously mentioned wanting to save up for Disney. Here we go. um, but she said that a lot of times about a lot of things and never made me aware that anything super special was going to happen. Also, it was Epcot. It's not like I took them to Magic Kingdom and they were having some magical moment of seeing their favorite characters. When they returned and found out, my daughter-in-law was furious and burst into tears. She said I stole one of her kids' firsts and called me entitled. to be honest, I didn't react well to being called entitled. Um, when she was the one who had previously demanded babysitting, my son asked me to apologize as she was distraught over missing their first Disney trip, but I declined and asked him to leave. My son reached out again and said I should have asked for something that big, and his wife feels robbed. I know she's a huge Disney person, but it was Epcot, not quintessential Disney. And I don't feel like I should have had to miss out on a birthday that I wanted to attend. I told my son that I am not apologizing for anything. And maybe they should think about how they made me feel when they didn't respect my initial no. My son feels like Reddit is going to show me the error of my ways. Am I the asshole? What say you, Crystal?
So it sounds like she didn't want to watch the kids.
No.
Okay.
Shame on watching kids.
That's what confused me initially.
Mm-mm.
You know, I don't know.
Because it was an extended period of time.
Which again,
so she didn't feel comfortable watching the kids because they never asked her to watch the kids in the first place. So she don't have a life experience watching these kids. And now for y'all to ask me a rare time and then for it to be an extended period of time. No. Like,
I mean, I guess, like, I guess, you know, it's messed up, that thought process where the girl's family is more important, because I know people who have had this or have shown this type of behavior. You know, they may not have not said it, but the way they've behaved have made it obvious that's what they believed as well.
Right.
Which is messed up because, you know, when you have a child, there's two sets of grandparents and they want to be able to have, they both want to be able to have some sort of relationship with them and an equal amount of time if possible. So it's sad when one family is clearly favored more than the other. But I, you know, because this is not, I don't think this would have been a scenario where I am, like, our family isn't like that. Like, even though, you know, if we weren't asked to watch this child or these children often, when we finally would get the chance, we would have jumped at it. We would have like, okay, yeah, sure. Because those are, you know, for OP's parents, that's their grandchildren, you know? So to me, it's just a little weird where she's like, no, I don't feel comfortable with that. I mean, it's not like you don't have any experience raising kids because you raise children. And so, and for me, 4 days, 5 nights, or whatever it was.
I think it was 4 nights, 5 days.
4 nights, 5 days. That, to me, that's not, I don't consider that extended period. I don't think that's very long, in my opinion. Like, you know, if it, I understand maybe if it was very, very last minute, if it's like, hey, we're leaving tomorrow, we need you to watch these kids for 4 days, 5 nights, or 5 nights, whatever. I'm getting all this stuff. We need you to watch it, because I understand why you would feel put out then, because that's too last minute. But if you had an ample amount of time, to me, it's just weird that she's like, no, I don't want to watch these kids. But you know, maybe you were one of those moms where you never really wanted kids, and now that they're out of the house, you never want to have to deal with them again. I get that too. That wasn't really clear. But anyways, on to the actual topic. You know, I don't think you're an asshole because you didn't intentionally bring them with the thought of, well, I'm gonna have them, so we're gonna go to Disney. I again have never been to Disney, so I don't know what the difference is between Epcot and Disney. Epcot and Disney, and see, I don't even know the name. So I can't say, you know, if Epcot is considered still Disney or not. But yeah, I agree. Like, it's a birthday party. You brought them to a birthday party. I think the parents are being a little dramatic on this one, where it's like, oh, you robbed us of their first experience. And it's like, of Epcot, sure. But they didn't see any characters. They didn't meet their favorite Disney character or whatever. You're still going to be able to enjoy that and experience that. I think, yeah, they're being a little, I'm going to say not the asshole for this one.
Yeah, because the point that I'm glad that she specified which park they went to,
Mm-hmm.
because Epcot is, to me, right,
Mm-hmm.
the least traditional Disney park out of
Okay.
Hollywood Studios, Magical Kingdom, and I think the other one's called Animal Kingdom or something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't remember
Mm-hmm.
what the other one's called. I think it's called Animal Kingdom, something like that. It has the least like recognizably Disney-esque stuff.
Okay.
Like Magic Kingdom has all the classic characters, all the things that you really see on TV when they talk about Disney
Mm-hmm.
World and stuff like that. Hollywood Studios, all the Star Wars stuff, Marvel stuff, classic characters and
Mm-hmm.
Muppets, all that. Love it. And the Animal Kingdom is, I think it has Avatar stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All the classic characters are there. Bugs Life, all the stuff that you love. Epcot is more, I think it was supposed to be like futuristic themed
Mm-hmm.
when it was first built. And then it has like the tour of the worlds, like towards the back of the park where you go to like France, Germany,
Okay.
Italy, Tokyo, Japan, all that shit. I think Epcot is really for older people.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes absolutely no sense to me that the mom got upset. If you know anything about the Disney parks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm with the original poster girl. I'm not missing this birthday party because of these kids. Like, especially if
Yeah.
they can come with me. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And they're gonna enjoy the park. And there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
that they're gonna see at Epcot that's gonna ruin their experience for the Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Magic Kingdom is a totally different experience, and you will have that experience because it is magical. I ain't gonna tell my wife business on here, but she will. I got to witness my wife have a magical experience at the Magic Kingdom. It is one of the highlights of my life. I remember where I was standing and everything, exactly where we were, and it was all the pyrotechnics, and everything going on. It was a light show at the end of the night, and I just looked at her, and just her reaction to it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna show my ass. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." We gonna get you there, Crystal. We
Okay.
gonna get you there.
Okay.
As a community, as the Team Crystals podcast community, our mission is to get you to Disney World, and you need to go to all the parks. Okay.
Yeah, because
Full days.
it sounds magical.
It's a good time.
Mm,
It's a good
so
time.
happy for you guys. So yeah, not the
But yeah,
asshole, not the asshole.
no, not at all, not at
And
all. And
I'm assuming the comments were in agreement with us. Did this lady not get torn apart?
yeah, no, she didn't at all. The sun was getting torn apart.
Good.
So shout out to you, ma'am. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. Your
Mhm.
daughter-in-law sounds like she has charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. You caught that one.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. This time the acronym stuck.
The acronym.
It didn't go over my head.
I was a little worried.
Look, I pay attention a little bit more. I
You
did
know,
better.
we try. We try nowadays. So you
All
got
right.
something else for us, right?
I do. So
All right, let's do it.
We've been having a little bit of too much fun on this here episode. So we're gonna I'm gonna really depress some of y'all a little bit.
Let's reel it in.
So this is still on Reddit, but I don't know what he originally posted this under, because I think his original post got deleted. This was a couple years ago, but I did find the first 2 parts of it on the best of Reddit. And this is a little bit of true crimey. A little bit true crimey.
True crime.
So I don't know if this was the original title, but this title for the best of Reddit said that original poster's sister was sent to boarding school but never came back, and they suspected foul play. So he says, This guy said, hold on, let me.
Oh, I don't know why it just hit my brain that she like never came back ever. Oh shit. I don't know why. I was thinking she didn't come back for a while, but they never saw that. Wow. Okay.
So it looks like he originally posted this in some sort of legal advice column. And he goes, his original title was, I think something very bad happened to my sister.
Oh my goodness.
I scope Reddit a lot and I really don't know where to go, but I hope I can be helped here. I'm 14 male. I'm American, but I live in Asia. Being vague because I don't want this tracked back to me if the situation is as bad as it seems. I don't know if I should give some sort of background or anything, but up until about 7 months ago, I lived with my mom, 39, and my dad, 41, plus my little sister, 9. I say was because my sister is no longer here. She's in boarding school. I want to preface this by saying we are not bad kids. We're half white, half Asian. When my grandpa on my dad's side got sick 4 years ago, we moved here so my dad can take care of him. Me and my sister worked hard to learn the language. Despite her age, she actually caught on better than me, and I was so impressed with her. The issue began with my grandma. She would really look down on my sister, and I loved my sister and didn't like it one bit. My mom said it was cultural and I shouldn't make a fuss about it, but it was hard when grandma really started making it obvious. She got me clothes, games, etc., but my sister got no attention. I should mention that 4 years ago, we lived with grandpa and grandma. In that time of me getting spoiled, he said, in that time, I was getting spoiled while my sister got reprimanded for everything she did. I swear it was super unfair. You wouldn't believe it. Just under a year ago, grandpa passed and my parents decided we'd stay here since I already speak and read pretty fluently. Grandma spoke to everyone about how rude and unladylike my sister is, and my parents went along with it when I completely think is wrong. 7 months ago, her and grandma went out and my parents said she'd be at boarding school for the summer. Just the summer. After 3 months, I got anxious and asked when she'd be back, and my mom ended up crying at the question. I was talked to by my dad, and he said she loved boarding school so much she didn't want to come back. Like, question mark? Is that how boarding school works? I don't think so. Maybe I've been watching too much TV or reading too much Reddit, but we're in another country, and I swear what they were doing was emotional abuse. Still, it gets worse. After 5 months, I still haven't gotten any contact, no messages, no letters, nothing. And that's when my dad started making her room into his office space. We actually got into a big fight over it, and I ended up with more chores. But he never answered why he was doing it. If she'd be back soon. Anyway, it's now been 7 months since that car trip that took my sister away and the final nail in the coffin hit. I was looking through the attic for my mom's stuff and found a box with some of her old stuff, including her phone. Why wouldn't she have her phone? I really just want to know if there's anything I can do. No one will tell me which boarding school she's at. I'm told not to worry about it because I'm a child. I know I'm too young to do much, but if there's anything I can do, please help. When I think about it, I can't stop remembering the way my mom cried that day. It makes me shiver. I've been imagining the worst, and I'd hate if it ended up being something along my mind.
Call the police. Call the police. Lord, I'm trying to clear my throat. Hold on, give me a second. Feel for me.
Yeah. When I first read this, I was like, oh no. Like, the way the mom reacted just to a simple question of, hey, when's my sister coming back? When she burst into tears, I was like, something happened to the sister. Like, my first thought is she's not around anymore. She's gone. She's like gone.
They killed that girl. Either they killed that girl or they made some type of arrangement for another family to take her son, because there's no reason that she just disappeared one day and went to boarding school and then just has not been heard of since. And then you find her phone. When you found that phone in the attic, I would have had to make some secret arrangements because I'm next. Okay, because if y'all do that to her, baby, it's only a matter of time before I get it on y'all nerves enough for y'all to do it to me. I need to make my arrangements. I got to get the hell up out of here. I don't know what type of shit y'all on over here in Asia, where y'all just disappearing people. Baby, I'm from America, presumably. We don't We don't do that. Love your gramps. Love your gram. Love your daddy. Mama. Mama. You are a white woman in Asia. You can get anything you want. Let's go. you probably ain't even got to pay for your plane ticket, girl. Let's get out of here. Let's be feed. Absolutely not. Call the authorities. Call the authorities. Get some. I mean, you doing your part. If you said this was originally allegedly posted in a legal column, then he was already on the right foot.
Track. Yeah.
I would love an update on this story.
Well, I got it. I got it for you.
Look, oh my God. My TikTok community, our prayers have been answered. Hallelujah.
So, on to the update. This is what I finally ended up doing. So thanks to the super community that is Reddit, I was able to get in touch with a few different sources, the least favorite of which was a phone call towards those that help find trafficked children. I knew my family would be investigated and actually went to meet up with another family in that time. So basically, a Redditor close to my age, who I'll keep private, met with me, and she had already showed my story to her family. They ended up letting me stay with them for a bit and made the proper calls to make sure it wasn't illegal. I actually even specified that I wasn't running from home and I'd come back after the investigation. It didn't sit so well with authorities, and I was actually forced to go back home, but it only got stranger from there. I went back home to a completely empty house. Even grandma was gone. So I was allowed to stay with the other family for the time being. They were extremely kind. For a week, I didn't get any news, and bless her mother's heart, but I was told I had a home with them no matter the results. So, a few days to a week after it had passed, I get a call, and it turns out they found my sister. My family had been taken in for questioning and were placed in holding for quite a while. I'm not sure why they didn't tell me this immediately, though. I don't actually know the full story, but my sister was living close, 700 kilometers away. Yeah, nearly a whole day's drive. It wasn't summer school or boarding school or anything like that. My dad sold her to get married. My mom was off the hook as, one, I still need a parent, and two, she wasn't in on it until it was a decent ways in. My dad and grandma have been arrested, though, and I'm back living with my mom and sister now. I'm still in contact with the Redditor that let me stay with her, and I'll forever be grateful. I have no idea what would have happened if I was around when authorities came knocking. She's my angel. On a more depressing note, my sister doesn't speak much, but she seemed to cheer up after I let her read my post. She said she felt abandoned and alone, among other things, but seeing how I and plenty of strangers gave their hearts for her made her very happy. So thank you all. She said, sorry for being so vague here. I'm trying to protect identity. This isn't over by a long shot. There's still things that are going to happen, but I have my sister back, and that's all thanks to Reddit. And there is another update to this, but I will let you react to that information.
Lord have mercy. That's crazy. He sold that girl in the marriage. Listen, there's not much I can say because I'm going to be teetering the line of getting canceled. Because I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't know what things are culturally appropriate, around the world. I ain't trying to speak ill of nobody. I ain't trying to say nothing I ain't supposed to say. However, that's crazy.
Yes.
And the grandma deserves to be in a 4 foot by 4 foot cell. Okay, she need to be in a cell so small that she can't sit down.
Right.
Okay. She deserves the worst. Because the grandma, I know the grandma is the one that was behind it. And for the father to facilitate it, electric chair. You got to get off the earth, sir. For you to do that to your own child, just to appease, because I know you did it to appease your mama.
Right.
I know you did it to appease your mama. Electric chair. The grandma deserves to be here and suffer for the rest of her limited days. You deserve the electric chair.
Apparently, in this area, because he did answer a lot of questions in the comments, which, you know, folks who are listening to this, you're more than welcome to go and get the full, because it would be really long. But one person pointed out for this area that it's common for this, it's basically called adopted daughter-in-law, and what they do is they'll marry off a girl who's a child, but she's kept as a servant until she's old enough to marry the son of the family that bought her.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's even worse. It's even worse.
Slavery. I mean, it's slave. Yes. I mean, granted,
indentured servitude, and your indenture ends when you marry their child.
Yeah.
That's
So he gave one last update. He said, kind of an update, got my sister back. He said, so, hey, Reddit, I made a post a little while ago about my sister, and thanks to the power of Reddit, I got her back. I left the account with no real intention of returning, but about a week ago, my sister was feeling down and wanted to read some comments. Holy crap, there's so much going on. The post blew up, and we got added to an update Reddit. It's practically on top of the page. Let's see. That being said, I'm sure you'd all rather hear about my sister. So first off, there was another investigation, a much bigger one, since everyone in our home are American citizens. I thought I didn't have much family on my mom's side because that's what my dad told us all of our lives. Turns out I have an uncle, and we're with him as of 2 weeks ago. My mother, on the other hand, is also awaiting trial as well. I won't lie, some of the Redditors are a little cruel, but understandably. So my mom was complicit, even if she could do minimal to stop it, but she's still my mom, and my dad is still my dad. It hurts that I just lost them in the span of a month. What they did to my sister is unforgivable, and I will likely cut all contact, but losing the people that doted on me since day one is a lot. As suggested, we're starting therapy, and we've already had a first meeting, but it was mostly introductions and getting settled. Nothing of note talked about. My sister gave her heart to all of you guys, and things seem to be a little calmer now. More personally, I'm still friends with the lovely girl still in Taiwan, I guess is where it took place, and we're in close contact. She will always be my hero. She's very likely read this update, so I won't embarrass her, but she's got a sister status now, and she's well aware of what I do for my sister. Thanks again, Reddit.
Yeah, that sounded exactly how it should. Everybody needs to go to jail.
Yes.
The daddy needs the electric chair. Grandma needs a 1x1 cell, and mama needs to go to jail for, I would say half her life, half of her remaining life, because it seemed like the mama, no, 75%, because you let it happen. You weren't down with this shit from the very beginning, but when it mattered, you was down for it, and that type of offense cannot be forgiven. So this turned out exactly how it should have. I cannot believe that happened. Like, can you imagine for the people out there who have children? Can you imagine looking your child in the eyes, knowing that you about to take them and sell them into slavery? Because that's what it was. They had that girl working in that house until she was of age to marry. Slavery. Imagine doing that to your own child to appease somebody else in your life. This ain't even a decision that you're making on your own. I mean, you are making a decision on your own, but it's not a decision that originated with you. It's a decision that you made that originate with somebody else's feelings towards your child. And you take your child and sell your child to another family into what is essentially modern day slavery. Think about how you would go about that, getting your child, the walk to the car, the drive to the other family's house, the drive back home after you did what you did. Really sit and think about that and feel the way that your stomach turns, and think about the fact that these people not only went through with it, but stuck with it to the point where the authorities had to get involved to find that child. This is insane.
Yeah, especially since, before because I know there are some cultures. Excuse me, guys, my dogs are barking. Um,
Hey doggies, how
I
y'all
know
doing?
they're so loud, and my mom's not here to like control them like
Shut
they
their
usually
asses
do.
up.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's caught their attention because it's pouring outside. So I was hoping
Mm.
that it wouldn't happen.
The puddles. They're excited about the puddles. They want to get out there and jump in the puddles. It's okay. Everybody, everybody likes a muddy puddle. You ever seen Peppa Pig? It's from Peppa Pig. My English accent. Don't do my accent like that. A bottle of water. Is that that bad, Crystal? I was doing it today. We went to the zoo today, and I don't remember what I was saying. Because I went to dinner last night with some friends. Oh, because I had fish and chips last night for dinner, and I was telling my wife about it while we was driving to the zoo, and I was like, "It was some good fish and chips, isn't it?" Crystal, stop! Don't do my accent like that. It's kind of good. Y'all
Stop offending
comment.
these people. Stop offending them.
Y'all comment below. Brits. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. You saw me trying. You saw me trying to formulate. I am crying. You saw me trying to formulate the accent in my head. Brits, sound off in the comments. Am I doing a good British accent? Bottle of water. Chimney sweep. Isn't it good?
No, what you're doing is offending them.
Oh my God. I love y'all. I love the Brits. I've been to your country. It's a beautiful place. The food, but it's a beautiful place. No, I'm not gonna lie. I think I had the best, um, the best mussels that I've ever had anywhere in my life. They were a actually the restaurant we went to, everything was good. Like the chicken was good. We had a beef stew on this table that I tasted. It was that. Mm, I need to go back there. Actually, my mouth got wet. Um, but yes, to wrap up this story because I know your dogs is cutting up, so we just finna tie this thing in a bow. Um, that is completely insane. The family deserves to go to jail. Um, for if not the rest of their life, a very, very, very long time. And I'm glad that they are getting um the help that they need. They're getting some therapy. They're processing it. Shout out to the original poster. They are an OG. Okay, the OP is an OG. They handled this shit for their age exquisitely. So shout out to you. You are so brave. And your sister, she better not even look at you sideways for the rest of her life because you literally saved her life.
Yeah, I agree. And I I'm really sad for them because obviously this is not what was intended for their family because like I was trying to say before my dogs interrupted me for like 10 minutes that when they were in America they obviously they were a good family, nothing was really the issue, and it wasn't until they moved to this country and the grandmother got access to these kids that
Mm,
because I don't know, over, and it's not just in Asian countries, it's just in a lot of countries. And, we go back history, but boys tend to be favored more than girls. China
hmm.
had that one child policy for the longest time, and
Yeah.
many, many female kids were affected by that for long, long time. And now
Hmm.
they want people to have kids now because suddenly they find themselves with all these boys and not really a lot of girls.
Yep.
So, but yeah, best of luck to that family, and I hope the therapy and everything was going to help the little girl to be able to work out all of her complicated feelings. And thankfully they're with their uncle. Hopefully it's a very loving environment, and they're doing a lot better now, because I know this is a few years old. So I hope they're doing better now.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Crystal. That was a ride. That was a good mix. That was a good true crime story. Great way to wrap the episode. And it facilitated me showcasing my amazing British accent. So thank you for that. I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to let the people hear that. I feel like it was something I really needed to share. It's a talent that I shouldn't keep to myself.
Some things you should keep to yourself. We're still trying to build a platform,
an audience. Yeah, and I thought that would help. I thought that would bridge us across seas. No, not quite. Okay. Well, for those of you who have joined us and are sticking around with us, we very much appreciate it. And we want to thank you for listening to another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you are listening. Make sure that you also leave us a written review and let everybody else know what you enjoy about the Tea and Crystals podcast. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. It's very, very important that you do so. We appreciate everybody who does. Make sure you leave us comments. We didn't ask you all throughout the episode to leave comments about different things, and we really want to see them comments in the comment section. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story, as I mentioned before, stories that you see on Reddit, news articles that you see that you think are interesting, please send that to us with a short description of what it is and why you like it to teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's teaandcrystal@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. If you need spellings for anything, always look in the description box wherever you are listening and or watching. Now, Crystal, before we get the hell up out of here, is there anything that you would like to say to the beautiful people that are watching us and listening to us? Oh, I just realized that you're on mute. All right, and on that note, y'all, we will see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.